take another one today.
Oh.
So my poor nose been like.
I know your nose is like.
By the second time, literally, like I didn't cry, I didn't shake. I was just like, I was numb. But you
do what you gotta do.
Look, you would have thought I was high on poppers the way she just slid in there like.
Seasoned pro.
She's like, "Oh, you need the tissues." I was like, "No."
It's like, no, bitch, I'm good.
That's it. That's all you got for me,
right? No, bitch, I am good. Ooh.
Hey, community. Here's what's brewing today.
F these anti-trans bills.
Ask your aunties. Bust it on TikTok.
And the royal penis is clean, your highness. So get your cups ready for Minority Report. Well, hello. Welcome to Minority Report.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome.
Hey, community.
But we had started the conversation. We were like, you know what? Hold on. Let's start the conversation. Let's start the episode. So anyway, we're just saying, welcome to allergy season.
Girl, yes. She can go all the way home.
all the way. Like I felt it because last week in Atlanta, or I guess 2 weeks by this episode, it was like 70 all week, and I was like, oh God, nice. Here we go.
And they were out acting a fool in Atlanta because I saw like people roller skating, having a good time, turning up and peeing my pants.
Absolutely.
I was like,
yeah, like that Sunday, it was like 80 degrees. So I was just like, here we go, allergy season. And literally woke up like the next few days, sinus is going. And you were just asking, like, do I take Claritin D? And no, this is not sponsored by nobody. But I was just saying I'd be popping pills during the springtime because like
you do a cocktail.
I do a cocktail assortment. It's probably not the best thing, but oh well, I'm still alive. Thank you, Jesus. But
what's like your go-to like
day to day, like
mixers?
year in, year out. Like I take Zyrtec every day.
Okay.
And I forget if we said it on here. Like I recently had just finally gotten an allergy test for the first time in my life. I've known in my entire life that I've had severe allergies. It is what it is. But I never got tested. So like I had to get a new doctor recently because my old doctor, I don't know, we got an email saying that he left the practice. So we're like, oh shit, what's going down at the doctor's office? But so the new doctor was like asking, your medical history, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, do you have seasonal allergies? Are you allergic to anything? I'm like, yeah, I'm like allergic to everything, like at least seasonally. I don't think medication wise. And so he's like, have you ever done an allergy test? And I'm like, no, I just know. So what is it going to do for me? But I was like, go ahead, let's do it. So do the allergy test. And literally his note back to me was, you are allergic to everything. You have severe indoor and outdoor allergies. And I was like, bitch, I know. like I know. I could have told you that. So day in, day out, I take Zyrtec. But then like when it comes to the spring, I'll do Zyrtec. I like to do something, of course, with a little D in it, but like a Claritin D or something, the big D.
Yeah, okay, look, you better go for gold, Gabby.
Take
the landing.
Exactly, because the D like clears the sinuses. Like a lot of just working for Bayer for the number of years I did, I just know that for a lot of the sinus stuff, the stuff over the counter is not going to work, and you need the stuff that the meth heads go after. So you got to get that behind the counter. So I'll usually take that because I'll usually wake up with sinus pressure, and then say if I take, because usually I'll take my Zyrtec right before bed. That way it kind of works in your body overnight, and then but say the following evening, I know I'm going to start feeling it a little bit. So I might take like an Allegra or even like the liquid Dimetapp. The cold and allergy, there's a certain medication that works quickly because it's a liquid, but it's just a shorter time frame. It only works for like 4 to 6 hours or so. So I'll usually take that to kind of take the little edge off until I'm for my next Zyrtec pill. So I'll just be all around the clock popping.
You know how someone has surgery, they'd be like, okay, so you're gonna take this one every 4 to 2 hours, you're gonna take this one every 3, but you can't take these 2 at the same time, and these 3 can't go back to back. That's what she sounds like. See, for my allergies, I don't get congestions, I get migraines, and I've been getting them since I was like in the 7th grade. So when allergy season comes for me, it's just like I have to have on glasses. Like I be literally wearing sunglasses because the monitors are just too bright and they just set off my. So I'll be looking like Stevie Wonder at my desktop every day at work. Like
Ebony and Ivory.
Every day, even when I was in the office, they would be looking at me crazy, like, "Why is this man wearing sunglasses in the office?" Migraines, let me tell you. And if my allergy medicine ain't trying to make me take a nap, it ain't strong enough because of migraines.
Really?
Look, honestly, because the migraines are so bad that like my body needs to basically almost sleep them off in order for them to go away. So I need to have the most like.
It's like knock me out, bitch.
Yeah, like you gotta be put down, bitch.
Yeah, I only do. I'm lazy. So I just want one pill, 24 hours. I think we talked about this before the podcast started, but it has to be 24 hours. I'm on this 12-hour bullshit and it don't work. It do not work. Like I pop the pill and then like maybe like an hour and a half later, I could start feeling a little bit better, whatever. But then like literally after 2 more hours, it's like, I don't know if y'all can hear that.
What up, New York?
That's New York. But like after like 2 more hours, it's a wrap. And it's just like, give me the 24-hour. I don't care. Like it doesn't make me tired, doesn't make me nauseous, doesn't affect me any what kind of way. It just works. And I take that shit like clockwork. But this 12-hour bullshit ain't it. It's driving me nuts.
Blue and yellow, purple pills. I've been to Mushroom Mountain once or twice, but who's counting? But yeah, no, it's that season. And like literally, I'll get like the eye drops. I like literally, and this has been my entire life since I can remember. Because my dad has severe allergies as well, so every year we'd be like comparing notes.
The corner itch right here.
Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst.
I get that every now and then. I don't get it as often, but I am so bad at it to the point where like you start like almost like
rubbing your skin right.
And it should be burning. And you be like, oh,
seriously,
fanning yourself.
It's true.
Like,
it's horrible. Like my doctor did recommend that there was some new medicine that he was like that because I have asthma as well. So he's just like, I'm gonna put you in a prescription. Just let me know when you want to like get it filled for a prescription allergy medicine that'll help both my allergy and asthma. So this season, I need to probably just call him now because it's here and just see how that works this season. But
yeah,
I dread it.
Allergies will humble the strongest hoe real quick. like you think you bad, boom, here's some allergies.
You ain't bad.
You ain't nothing. You ain't nothing.
Got the little Jerrell curl. Lord.
Kerel, I like your color of your shirt. Is that a new shirt?
No, I've had it for a while. I just couldn't really fit into it like I wanted to before. So
okay. I'm liking the color of that on your skin tone. Is it like a maroon or is it more brown?
It's more maroon. It's like a wine, a champagne, if you will. Burgundy. Yeah. So I need a haircut. I haven't gotten a haircut in like a month, so I've been rocking the hats extra hard lately. So I was like, okay, let me put my little central hat on, call it good.
Oh, speaking of hats, today's guesses. We didn't guess last week. Okay, so is it still airing?
Oh, yes, we did guess
your name.
Okay.
So remember 2 episodes ago, he was telling us a story about Nasty Pig with his
manager.
Yes,
his manager, and we were trying to guess her name.
Yes.
Yep. So
we forgot to guess a new name this week.
Yes.
That's right. Okay.
Okay, let me write this down.
Aaron with an E. I said Aaron with an E.
Hey, community, if you're a new community member to this episode, check out 2 episodes ago. I give a story about me wearing a Nasty Pig hat and my manager asking what the hell the hat stood for. And I was trying to duck and weave around the questions. And so now for the rest of this year, Dawon and Jerrell are going to try to guess what my manager's name is, and at the end of the year, I'll reveal, and we'll try to remember which episode, if they get it, the name of.
Here's the kicker, y'all. Though he ain't gonna remind us of the names that we already guessed, though.
So
we gonna be over here saying the same names. So I'm over here trying to. I said
I got a Rolodex. I got a Rolodex of them.
I'm gonna go with Tiffany.
Ooh, Tiffany. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Deborah.
Ooh, Deborah. Okay.
With an H and no H.
Well, I was thinking about that because
Deborah.
Because I was thinking about that, like if they have a shorter name, like if her name's Deb and I guess Deborah, like I should get that.
Yeah,
I should get that point.
I agree with that.
So I'm using the full government name, you know, so like
cover your bases,
right. So you know.
Now
yes,
look, if her nickname is D, they don't count though. Okay.
No, it doesn't. You can't be going down the alphabet.
Yeah. No, it's got to be a real name. Okay.
All right. So we got this week's, and I'm trying to think, how can we get the community in on this? How, like, either vote who's going to get it first between the aunties, or do we just post this every week and see if, because sometimes they don't be posted, they don't be commenting. Y'all need to comment. Subscribe, by the way. Subscribe, download, share with your family and friends and everything. But if we put this up, I want y'all to guess as well if we do that.
Let me tell you, I'd have made a whole face for this girl. Like in my head, she got the Karen haircut, but it's red though. She got red hair. And she looked like she probably about like 5'5". You know,
5'5".
I'm trying to put faces. Like every time I say a name, there's a face behind every name.
Yeah.
So
I know, and I'm trying not to like react one way or the other, like so I don't give any clues or nothing. So, but yes,
I know Tiffany. You got excited about Tiffany though, so you didn't say nothing last time. So I was like,
so, that is true. I know. I'm like trying to mix it up. Lord, did y'all watch the Golden Globes like a week ago? No. I watched it, and it was interesting because obviously we're still in a pandemic, despite what Texas and Mississippi are saying. We'll get to that, but it was interesting how each award show, like just throughout the last year, how they're still trying to figure out a way to make this work.
Yeah, they're like reinventing the wheel every time,
every single time. So this time, more stars actually like got like dolled out. Yeah. Which is kind of cool because it's like, I mean, literally, this might be the 5th time that I've put on something other than like a t-shirt throughout the last year. And so it was just interesting to see this round. You could tell they're ready to get out, or they probably, a lot of them are already been out and, you know, filming shit, but they're ready to be like dolled up. Yeah, who looked amazing, by the way.
Okay, was she wearing a robe though when she went to go see Andrea Day?
Yeah, so she clearly went and took off her gown. She's like, okay, I didn't win, but like she went and bigged up Andrea. That's how you big up somebody. That's how you big up your community.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like, that's how you do it. Yeah. But it was just interesting to watch it. Just like they're still struggling because this time they had some people like they had Amy and Tina. Amy was in LA, Tina was in New York, so that was already kind of a weird dynamic. And then you had some people there presenting live, some presenting from home. Then you had all the stars, though, who were nominated still at home, like on Zoom, and some were all over the world. You know, like so it was weird. Like it was fine, but like I'm surprised to say that I actually kind of miss in-person award shows, even though they're the same thing year in, year out. There's a dynamic still that's there when they are there live, you know.
I think it's also different with like the Golden Globes because that's usually the one where everybody sits at the round tables where everybody's usually drunk. Like that's where all the memes be coming from. Like that's usually the fun one because all the rest of the award shows are all sitting in stadium seating and, you know, kind of billowing over with all of their frivolity and all that stuff. But like the Golden Globes is like people are chill, they're relaxed, they're hanging out, they're talking to one another. You know, they shouting out like black people at the movies to like the people that's getting the award. You know, like it's that engaging. but
I will say the one cool thing that was about it though is like what they did kind of leading into commercial break. They would like show like the Zoom screen, and then you would see like an Andra Day talking to like Viola, talking to da 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 da. And so they gave you maybe about like 10, 15 seconds of just them like congratulating each other, just saying, "Oh, I like your dress." So that was kind of cool to kind of hear like the behind the scenes kind of almost conversations. But other than that, it was still kind of a struggle of them just trying to figure out what the hell are we doing. They had a couple like technical glitches.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Right off the bat.
Like the first award.
Yeah, but I'm glad they gave him his chance to speak up for his performance. And
I forget his name. It's the
Moyai or
the British actor. He was like in Black Panther.
Yeah, I can't say his name correctly.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
It's Amaye or something.
But he won for like the Judas, the Black Messiah movie.
Yeah,
which I still need to see, by the way.
I'm not ready for it yet because that's just.
You got me in the mood. I know.
I mean, like I deal with too many white people on a daily basis right now. Like I just know after I see that I'm gonna need to be like isolated because I'll be ready I'll be ready to slap a hoe real quick. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's not your fault, but it's your people.
It's your fault at the same damn time.
Right. It's like.
I also feel like the movies that vast majority of the movies that are coming out are like centered around like Black militantism or slavery or like the aftermath of slavery, and it's just like we have so many other stories that could be told, and I don't know, I don't want to go to the movies to like boo-hoo. I just not anymore. I want to go to the movies to like escape, so like I can't put that much energy into like watching another damn slave movie. I can't. I mean, it's good and good for the culture, and somebody else can carry the torch, but not me. I'm not doing it.
Did you watch Billie Holiday?
I haven't yet. I'm gonna watch that. We're gonna watch that this weekend.
Same.
Yeah, we're gonna watch that this weekend.
Andra acted the shit. All I'm gonna say is Andra acted the shit out of that fucking movie.
Which is
literally,
crazy
I was sitting there like,
Lee Daniels didn't want to cast her, and the producer had to convince him to have her in it, and she didn't even think that she would be able to do it.
Yeah, she was like, I didn't want to do it neither. And she literally, I was just sitting there like, I haven't seen a performance, especially like a newbie like that, in a while.
Yeah,
like you're gonna like it. You're gonna like it.
I'm looking.
I will say this though. It's crazy how many Black folks from across the pond are coming over here and acting their asses off and getting a lot of recognition. I love it. I just love seeing just the full spectrum of all our Blackness, not just Black here in the US, but Black globally.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
I wonder if there's like a little bit of cross-pollination, because like I would feel a certain kind of way, because I've seen like, a little bit of like, in the social media world about, like, oh, they coming over here taking all our jobs, and you're not even about that life. And I'm just wondering if there's a little bit of like cross-pollination, or some of our actors going over there,
I think we've been going over there because like
it's
like,
America. We everywhere. We insert ourselves every damn way.
We sure do.
Like
I'm just saying, like, I know that our movies go over there. I'm just saying, like, are our actors going over there and starring in like movies portraying like an English person?
Right.
That's the thing.
I'm sure we are.
I hope so.
I think we are too. But it's just crazy though. Like at the same time, it makes me that much more excited for them though, because all of the charts and everything like that, the goals are like the American standard. So to be making it here, like on the US level, like that is the ultimate goal for any artist, where you are in music or you're in movies. Like if you're in entertainment, like the goal is to be American famous,
Yeah. And the actor's name is Daniel Kaluuya. There we go. But a lot of people were upset that he got that role because he is a British actor, and they're like, you're not American, like you kind of almost like what you're saying, Dawon, like you don't know that part of the story, so why couldn't an American actor tell that part of the story? And it's like, I mean, at that point, you're kind of like splitting hairs maybe a little bit, Well,
but let's just take that a little bit further, because I'm really curious what you all think about this, because there's this whole notion of trans characters being played by cisgendered individuals, right? And there's the notion that that those roles should be relegated for trans because of visibility and da 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 da. And I'm just curious, and you can take that anyway, like you can take that further. So I'm just curious, where do you guys fall on that spectrum of, if the character is, a Black African American, right? Not just a Black person potentially from somewhere else, because they have, Black people in Canada and, all over the world, but they're not African Americans. Like, should they be playing these kind of roles?
I mean, I personally think that narrative plays too much into what the white man has created within our community, that we need to continue to have some reason to divide us. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if they're Black Canadian, Black American, Black European, or whatever. All they see is Black. You know what I'm saying? And so if we start to break it down within our own community, I feel like we're still leaving that door open for them, and them being white racist people, to continue to be like, well, y'all see each other in this own kind of way, so why can't we see you like this? So I personally, I don't care, especially when it comes to our history, because the point is to tell our history. And if we want to focus on who's telling our history versus the actual real representation, which is it was a Black man, then that's when I would like. If it was a white man or some other, then I would have a problem with it. But they got a Black man to play a role about someone being Black. Like,
yeah,
it's splitting hairs to me personally. If you want to talk about what type of Black man that there was, and like,
yeah, like I feel like, unfortunately, it's got to be a case by case situation, because specifically if it's like a trans role, I want a trans person to play it, because there's a lack of representation of being able to have roles and being able to tell their stories. So I like this one. I'm going to be on both sides of the fence. I agree with you, Jerrell, that it's just like, it's a Black man telling a Black story. It might be splitting the little hairs there. Does it have to necessarily be an American telling that story? I don't know. And obviously he's a great actor, so you want someone great to be able to tell these stories. But then when it specifically gets even like to those next levels of lack of representation, especially within the trans community, I don't want Daniel Kaluuya to play a trans role, a Black trans role, because there's so many talented.
Though, isn't it?
I don't know, like, and I think that's kind of the layers he was just asking, just like, where is that kind of line of when we should be upset and when we shouldn't be upset, honestly, and speaking up more and when we shouldn't.
I mean, what about it's funny because, like,
it's a Black man playing a Black role, though. I could understand if it was a white man playing a Black role, then I feel like that the trans theory there, or the trans question there, would then make sense to this. But
got it. So you're just saying if it's like a
role, like,
right?
Yeah, like, because I agree with you in essence. Like, if it's a trans role, then a trans person should be playing. Role.
So right, got
and
it.
That's my point. Like, like, as long as you have the right representation playing the correct role, that's what really matters. But if you want to break it down to then what type, of Black man it was, then that's where I'm.
Well, I think that the argument.
Oh, go ahead.
I think the argument is that there are so few roles of quality anyway in the United States that you had to go all the way over there to get a Black person from over there to play an American Black person here. Like, I don't know, like, would I feel differently if, the actors in Boys in the Hood, none of them were from the hood? Would I feel differently if, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't know the answer. I'm just saying, like, it's just interesting. And then, you look at other instances where, like Robert Downey Jr., white guy, played a Black man in Tropic Thunder, a comedy, killed the role, like did an amazing job, killed it, and did it with such authenticity. And he never got like charged with like blackface, even though that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
But So it's just, it just raises the question, like, where's the line?
Yeah.
You know, where's the line of like getting offended?
Yeah, for me, it's as long like if the purpose, the true intent and purpose is accurately portrayed, and both by storytelling and by the actor in which the character is, like, as long as those two things line up for me, I think that's where I'm more okay with, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, like, it's still fake in a sense, you know, it's still a job. They're still entertaining, if that makes sense, you know. So I find myself trying not to get upset about make believe, if that makes sense, you know.
Yeah. Like, and I can almost think of it the other regard too. So like, at the end of the day, as long as the representation is there, like, so like, we're not having a Jared Leto play a trans person. We're not having, you know, we have a trans person playing their community. I'm going to then want the best person that came and killed this fucking audition. So if it's Daniel Kaluuya and he's from UK, but he's playing an American, so be it, because you're going to be able to now get across what the purpose of this story is supposed to get across. If an American came in that day and did not kill it, did not step your pussy up. Sorry, Daniel got it that day, you know? And so that's where I kind of think, but it's just like, I think maybe within the Judas and the Black Messiah, since it was based on an American person, I think that's where some people were, because it's based on a real person. I think that's maybe even another layer that people were like, well, this was actually based on a person and he was American, so why couldn't you? But then, I don't know what the line would be, as long as it was a Black person that played it, a trans person plays their representative, you know, whatever it may be. Outside of that, whoever's going to be able to kill that role the best to get this story out there the best way it needs to be. You know? Because, like, just say if, like, Billie Holiday was, I don't know, German or something, would we not want Andra to play it? Like, you'll see, like, she killed it. Or, like, what if Ma Rainey was from the UK? Would we not want Viola to kill that role? You know? And that's where I kind of get stuck in my head. I'm like, clearly she's, like, killing it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But like, if you got Meryl Streep to play Ma Rainey, then I'm like, what the fuck is you doing? Yes, Meryl Streep is killing. She's a great actress. What?
But she know better.
Exactly.
Why did I just get a mental picture of Meryl Streep as Ma Rainey?
And she would probably kill the shit out the role.
Where my coat?
She would probably kill the shit out the role, but that ain't your lane, girl. That ain't your lane.
Yeah. I will say this, and also find it like amazing, you know, when actors from a different country play American roles and they don't have an accent.
I know.
I'm just like when I have to be like, oh wait, they from
like,
they not from here? Okay.
Yeah.
Good for you, girl. You killed that. Because 190 minutes of me trying to act in an accent. Bitch, please. Nope. You don't want that mess. It's a no.
So
I sound
true.
like a dying chicken. No.
It is so true. It's like, we lazy over here. We ain't gonna get that accent down.
No.
Look, we got so many accents over here though anyway. You know, like, think about it. Like, just within the New York tri-state area, there are so many different dialects alone. Not languages, but like actual dialects within our own. You know, Bronx is completely different than Brooklyn, and that's completely different than Staten Island, and that's completely different than Boston. Like, it's very, very different.
That's true.
That Louisiana drawl is very different than that you know, Georgia drawl.
Yeah.
That Georgia drawl is very different than the Alabama drawl, and they're right next to each other. It's wild.
Or even like the Midwest, like you go from like Detroit area up to the UP, like just that distance. You're 100%. Like, okay, this is interesting. We're in the same damn state. Hold on.
Michigan is like a whole country. Not gonna lie though, because it's like what, 59 hours to get from Detroit all the way up to
the bridge. Girl, seriously.
And the topography, like the land topography, like how the land looks. Like you literally drive into like mountains and see moose and like
people don't realize
crazy.
it. Like, or in Saugatuck's the Gayville, Mackinac, you mean?
right.
But yeah, people don't like Petoskey and Traverse City up there. It's freaking gorgeous. And people don't know unless like you're in maybe the Midwest area, especially during the summer up there. Like so many people, there are so many multi-million-dollar homes up there because all the rich go up there for their summer homes, and people just do not know. But yeah, you can literally go from Detroit, where it's like the hood, to like literally remoteness. Like they about to get my ass because I'm black. Seriously, but I love it. I love going up north in Michigan. Like I used to go every summer because my friends had a cabin about 30 minutes north of the bridge, and it's just peaceful up there. It's a little scary. Like if you go out, especially like me being the only black dude, a lot of times going up there, I'm like, okay, they're gonna get me first. Y'all better protect my ass. But it's peaceful up there. Couldn't live there, but love visiting there and vacating there.
It's just so isolated. Like I can't imagine number one, I feel like I'm just a city boy through and through. I love living in the middle of the city. I grew up in the suburbs, and ever since I've been living on my own, I've always lived like downtown, like in the thick of it. And even as I think about like what my twilight years, I want to be stomping these streets in New York.
I know that's right, girl.
With my little bags, yelling at people, get out of my fucking way, like.
I can't wait to see Dawon in the twilight years. I really cannot. I cannot wait.
I feel like I will be. I'll wear a muumuu everywhere.
I think you would.
and the level of I don't give a damn would be astronomical. Like,
astronomical.
It's like, can't touch me.
Like the notion of like living, in a place where you have to drive 5 hours just to get to the airport. It's just bizarre.
Yeah.
And then not having the conveniences of like living in a city.
Yeah.
You have like some conveniences, whatever. It's not like it's all Mayberry and no lights or whatever, but there are some where there's like one light on Main Street, some little towns and whatnot, and that's it,
That's what I grew up in.
So
now they moved up to maybe 2 or 3. But yeah, like the little town I was in growing up, we had like the main light. And then you had maybe the second main light going back into like Saginaw. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, it's a different world. It really is. But it's like it's calming though. But I'm with you. Ever since I left, like I have to be like Atlanta's probably the smallest city that I'm going to be able to live in, because like there's just some energy about being in a city that just feeds my soul.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, so. This just gets us to the conversation about what they just built in London. Speaking of being old.
So I know, right? So they're building the first, what they're claiming to be the first LGBTQIA plus retirement community. And maybe it's the first in London. I don't know. But it made me think, I was like, hey, what do you even picture your retirement? But if you wanted to be in a retirement center, would you want it to be all gay? And like that shit would probably be popping off. Like,
I mean, isn't that called Palm Springs?
You right. You right. You ain't lied on that one. And scene. Right. Yeah.
I mean, if it's like Palm Springs, I would do it because I like Palm Springs.
I love Palm Springs.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know.
I don't know that I would do it.
I'd go there just to sell Viagra, though. Push that money on the side.
See,
because you always hear those stories about retirement homes now, just like the older folks just getting it in, and like STI rates and STD rates like skyrocketing in like these centers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Girl, the gay community in this, bitch. I can, but I can't.
I don't know. I just, I'm just gonna answer.
I'm literally trying to picture that life, though.
Saying it.
You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to picture that life.
I'm trying to picture my booty hole at 65, bitch. I can't. I'm like, it's a no for me. That's what I was gonna say, bitch. I was just like, what am I giving? Like,
but you know what? By that point, you might be able to buy a new booty hole at Walmart, 2 for $1 or something.
Rub a little bounce sheet on it. Exactly. Just bounce right back.
Bounce back, right? Exactly. Shit. Let's see. I just found the article. So it says first ever LGBTQIA retirement community to open in London. And it says, we are making history today, realizing a long-held dream to provide a safe place for older LGBT people to live well in a community where they can be themselves, enjoy their later life. I mean,
I think one of the benefits of that kind of establishment, outside of the obvious of just being surrounded by people that understand the struggle that you have, and imagining that, if this place is open, let's say this year or next year, the people that are going in there, 65 and older, probably 75 and older, 75 and older, grew up in an age where, the vast majority, probably 2/3 of their lives was not really spent out and, and free, et cetera. So I could understand that. And I think the other thing of it is that for a lot of the older gays that, have been out, they don't have kids, so they don't have people to take care of them. So if you do have that's the thing that I think about, I think about retirement, I don't plan, we don't plan on, Adam and I don't plan on having any kids. So what is that going to mean for us when we're older? We're going to have some kind of, nest egg that allows us to get the kind of quality care that we need, because we can't rely on, I'm just going to move in with Junebug, it's not going to happen. So
not Junebug,
no. But you know what I mean? So I could understand the benefit of, I can understand outside of just the aesthetics, or the surface of you living in a building that has a bunch of other, gay and lesbian, trans individuals there, the care, and having access and the comfort of knowing that you have access to quality care that's right there within your facility. I can imagine it's really, really good.
I never thought about that, honestly. I don't know why, but that's actually something worth thinking about. I never thought about when I get older, who is going to, kind of look after or take care of. And I think that's because Fizz and I want kids, I want at least 3, he's like, oh, you do too. But and I settled for 3 because originally I wanted 5. I wanted enough for a basketball squad. But I got 9 siblings. I got 8 siblings. True. I'm the oldest of 9. So, I come from a large family. So that's always what I wanted in return. But I don't know. I think just because I plan on having kids, and we plan on starting our process, at the end of the year, because it takes at least up to 12 months to start the adoption policy and stuff like that for everything to even go through. So we plan on the end of this year starting our process. So by 2023, we are going in that direction. But I don't know. Look,
because healthcare is they don't be treating old people good. So you need to be,
especially
I know
not
one of
now.
These nephews and nieces, that I be going LFO.
That part.
They better remember that 7th birthday party. Okay, that I dropped that $500 for. Oh, you want to go to Chuck E. Cheese? Right. Well, guess what? Run me my money back.
That's right. Seriously.
Because when you really think about it, I'm sorry, go Boo.
Oh no, I was just gonna agree. It's just that is something, like you said, a lot of the community may not have kids or may not have family anymore because they were ostracized from the family. And it's just once you get to a certain age, what are your options anymore? It's just okay, maybe you're able to stay in your home or your apartment or whatever and have care come to you. But this could be an alternative. And I'm for me now, I'm almost thinking like strategically as a business plan, but like, you know what? Do we own us a little center, you know? Have like little like 30-year-old masseurs and masseuses come in there, you know?
A tight little piece, but like open up and take this pill.
You know? You know, help our community out. Shit, you know? So no, I think it's great, like because there's especially the generation that's probably getting older to retirement. We owe so much to that generation and all the shit that they went through. You know, the friends and family that they've lost during like the height of the HIV and AIDS pandemic. I'm glad to hear that someone's thinking we need to take care of them, have them, and so you still feel comfortable in your later years, because the last thing you want is to be like on your dying bed and still dealing with the bullshit that occurs with our community, you know, like whether you're trans or whomever. And, you know, it's just like, no one wants to think about that. You want to enjoy the twilight years of your life. So hopefully we hear more centers opening up like that, because I think it's a brilliant idea. And like Jerrell said, it's probably Palm Springs. You're right. You're right. It is Palm Springs. Shit.
But the gayer that we get in all these cities, like, the idea of having like a gay mecca, I think probably 50 years from now, you're not going to have those kind of places anymore. I mean, a lot of the gay neighborhoods that used to be like predominantly gay have been completely gentrified, and, you know, like queer people are becoming more mainstream. So that means that there's less need for us to kind of, you know, like consolidate into a particular area. So the landscape could look completely different, you know, 50 years from now.
But what we need to make real clear today in 2021, though, are these trans bills that are coming up in Alabama that just passed, and the one in Montana, and then there's like 30 other bills in the works across this country. And you know what, let me just read a verbatim what Alabama just passed. So under a new law, transgender youth in Alabama could not be treated with puberty blockers, hormone therapy, or surgery. The state Senate voted to make the treatment a felony on this past week, Tuesday. Senators voted at 20.
For who?
Let's see here. We'll get there. So it says senators voted 23-4 to approve this measure, dubbed the Vulnerable Child Compassion and Protection Act. So they're trying to make it sound like they protected somebody, which they ain't protecting nobody.
Like they're trying to protect children.
Sponsored by Republican Senator Shay Shelnut. The bill now heads to the state for the House of Representatives. It says the two bills would make it a felony for medical professionals to treat transgender minors under the age of 19 with gender-affirming care. Violating could face up to 10 years in prison or a $15,000 fine.
That's bullshit.
It's big bullshit. And then Montana legislators advanced two anti-LGBTQ bills this week. One, a so-called religious freedom bill. Another that would require transgender people to have surgery and obtain a court order before changing the gender marker on their birth certificates. So this government forcing you to get gender reassignment surgery before you could get your gender marker changed on your birth certificate.
That's
and I'm
like,
sure the
what is going on?
And I'm sure the loophole in Montana to even get the gender, you know, surgery as well too is probably a 50 million fucking like hoops to jump through before they can even.
So we, like, as much as we think we don't need maybe the centers of community, maybe now is even a bigger time to continue to have these, so we could pull our resources together, pull our talents and skills and law degrees and everything together to combat this shit. Because especially after this last election, since old boy lost, they are acting a fool. And by they, a lot of these white Republicans, and let's be specific here, are acting a fool, making sure that we don't progress to a better country. Like, I saw something on IG that someone was just saying they don't have an original idea in their head, so they literally are just trying to redo everything in the past. And it's ridiculous. It's sad and it's infuriating. So yes, we might have had our little 2 months of just chill mode, but bitches, it's time to wake the fuck back up and get out here and fight, because they're even making voting harder in Georgia right now. So we need to, wake back up this spring and start fighting and protesting and everything again, because this is ridiculous.
I forget who it was in the Republican Party. It was someone big, but they went out last week on like CNN or CNBC somewhere, and they said that Trump will be the Republican nominee in 2024 again. And it's shit like this that shows why I can see that happening, because the effect that he didn't got the fucking snowball rolling down the hill, and it's becoming a boulder. Like, it's not stopping. And although he may not be there, that momentum is still going to continue now, because he didn't put enough people out there to continue to do that work for him.
Yeah. And he showed in the last 4 or 5 years that no one's gonna say anything. No one's gonna hold me accountable. I could do what the fuck I want. That's the scary part of it. It's just like, now all these lawmakers are seeing that, saw that he got acquitted twice and things like that. They're like, well,
they ain't scared.
Exactly.
They ain't scared. Yeah.
And so we got some fighting to do.
I just don't understand like why Democrats got to be pussies.
That part.
Like, I just don't understand. Like, I get the whole, like, when they go low, you go high, like whatever. But when it comes down to it, they never compromise on any of their shit for us. But we bend the fuck over backwards to, work across the aisle. And for what? They always end up screwing us over.
Yeah.
They don't know the meaning to get their ass beat. That's what it is. Like, once you got your ass handed to you, be like, okay, cool. I know what to do next time.
Yeah.
And they just like, I don't know what this is. I'm like, bitch, you getting your ass told the fuck up, bitch. Like,
and here's the thing. And here's the thing too. Like, for so many years, Nancy Pelosi was getting this bad rep of not wanting to work across the aisle and things like that. We need to set her loose.
Right.
Set her loose, because she don't give a fuck.
Or Maxine.
Or Maxine. Somebody.
I'm just like, I'm done. Like, like the thing that was so disheartening for me when the whole second impeachment happened is the blatant disregard for our Constitution with that particular issue. And the fact that the Republicans would rather completely disregard treason. We're not talking about like a shady area of crimes and no, this is blatant, causing an insurrection, basically telling people to overthrow the government. And
that could have shot your ass. Like, that's the part. I'm like, you were sitting there, you saw the shit happening, your ass could have got shot.
I don't.
And that's still not enough. And then,
but that showed it was planned. That showed it was planned and plotted. They were not worried. They were not worried. They knew what was happening. It was planned from the get-go. So
I'll tell you what, though, they got 4 years in my time, because if we roll back after Biden's administration to Trump or anyone else that's on some bullshit, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with it anymore. I'm done. I'll move over to London and move into that little retirement home.
That retirement.
Get my moo on.
I know that's right.
Not that I'm almost be 50 at that point. So what to do?
Can you let me in?
Can you let me in, sir?
Governor.
Some tea and crumpets. Governor, are you there?
You can take all your black actors and send them over to America. I'm going over there. I need to be in a country, where I feel respected.
Even over there though, even over there.
Adele, get your Bantu knots ready, girl. Adele, get your Bantu knots. I'm coming, girl.
I'm the new braid lady. I got you, Adele.
Right. Oh,
but but I honestly, I completely agree, and that's exactly why I have even it's 2021, so I got it in 2015. I mean, but that's why in 2015 I got my license to carry, because I just knew. Yeah. I saw things happening a long time ago, and at this point and I think, Dawon, you said this a couple months ago, that it's going to get really bad. That it's going to get really bad before it gets good. And
it's going to get really bad.
I mean, what's today?
We got to get ready.
Because today, like, obviously this episode comes out on Monday, and so we'll find out what happens. But even tomorrow, Thursday, March 4th, Congress is not going into session because of these white crazies. So it's just like, we just got a lot of shit to get done in this next 18 months. Stacey Abrams, hopefully you run in Georgia again next year for governor, because I think she would win. So at least starting to penetrate the South. Like, we just have a lot of work. We thought we did the work to get Biden in, and we thought that was the hard part. No.
It's not.
Can I just say something?
I like how you asked to say something.
Right.
Yes. This our platform.
Right. I mean, I don't want to take us all the way off, because sometimes I'll do that, but I just feel like DC remember when DC used to be hard? Remember when DC had Mayor Barry
doing crack and shit?
Doing crack. Marion Barry, that's his name. Doing crack in like hotels and shit. It had the highest crime rate and had people running around with guns and whatnot. And now it's so granola
white.
That you had these fucking fat ass, hillbilly, Oompa Loompas from, Tuscaloosa, Idaho, who stormed the fucking Capitol, and ain't nobody stopped them.
You better preach.
Now, had any of them come to New York, they wouldn't have made it out. So I'm just like, how is it, like, DC? You lost a little bit of cred in my eyes. Like, you lost a whole lot of cred. You let them little romper room, like beanpole, Indiana. Well, I don't want to say Indiana. But,
well, that's what happens when you gentrify an area and don't engross people that are from that area, because that area does not have a lot of diversity at all. Oh, man. That's the reason why.
I mean,
I was sitting there watching the whole time that the insurrection was happening. I was like, you better be glad that I wasn't there, because I would have shot every bullet in my god if I was like a security guard or whatever, right. Working in there, or even if I was just working in the White House, I literally would have grabbed one of the flagpoles and started like stabbing people, like, you ain't doing this in my house, motherfucker. like I just don't understand, like,
why I picture
his moo.
Dawon, I picture Dawon being like Vivica A. Fox from Kill Bill. Come on, bitch. Kicking this shit out the way. Come on, bitch. Let's go.
Yep.
That's exactly. You're right.
His moo and his bob.
I do the Wonder Woman twirl and twirl out of my business suit into a moo.
Now, see, that's a dope ass movie idea. I'd watch the hell out that movie. Wonder Woman. Oh man, that is funny. All right, what time is it?
Ask your
auntie.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, so this is from Anonymous. So I've been talking to this guy for 2 months, and we've been really hitting it off. We've talked almost every day, shares nudes a lot, even when we're planning to meet up soon. Tonight, though, I looked at his TikTok and found that he's been dating a guy for the last 6 months. I'm kind of sad and I feel used, but I feel even worse for the boyfriend, and I don't know if I should tell him or not. What should I do, aunties?
Like, don't feel bad for him.
So I know last fall we had something similar in the sense of like telling a friend, like, would you tell your friend if their partner was cheating or doing something like that? I remember because I remember y'all said it's mind your business, and I was like, I'm that friend. And I said, I'm not friend. I'm not friend. I will look. You're not about to get my sis. It's enough for me. But in this instance, I don't know her. I don't know her anything. So, you know, I'm not saying nothing because of the fact is this is one person. If you did decide to say, you don't know them from anything. Right. So their reaction is so unpredictable that then all of a sudden you're pulling some drama that you really don't need to be in. Whereas with a friend, you at least know who you're dealing with when you go to tell the information to, and that's where I draw my line. So I don't know her. I ain't seen nothing. I don't know nothing. I don't do nothing. Snitchy get stitches.
Yeah, like I feel just the way it's written. So it's like I've been talking with this guy for 2 months and we've been really hitting it off. It almost sounds like it's through like a social media or like an app or something. So it almost doesn't sound like y'all are really together.
Quarantine.
Like really dating.
Right. You know. Exactly.
I mean, but look, them gays out there living they full non-quarantine lives.
Texas.
Georgia.
Mississippi.
So to me, like, I almost feel like it's not your place to even if you felt it in your spirit of spirits to tell the boyfriend because you feel bad. That ain't your place because it don't sound like y'all together, boo. Not to be too rude, but I mean, you slid in them DMs. It went down in the DMs, and now you went on TikTok and got your little heart broke because you done seen the boyfriend. Like, oh no, like, I mean, it may be one thing, like, if he told you, oh, I'm not dating anyone, I want to date you, this and that. So, yeah, that's a little messy. But Cher's knew it a lot. I mean, and we were planning to meet up soon. I mean, now you got your red flag. Don't stay. Like if that's bothering you, if you don't want to be the side piece or you don't want to be, because I don't even know the situation between the boyfriend and the guy. So maybe they're in an open relationship. Maybe they're in poly, whatever it means. Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know that dynamic. But if it's not good for you, then don't stay. You know, don't send out another dick pic. I can tell you that.
Or a whole pic.
Or a whole pic. Yeah.
Or at least set up an OnlyFans and just get some money out of it.
Get some coins. Get your pocketbook ready. But yeah, I mean, obviously we're making it a little light, and I know some people would say we always make light of shit. But in this situation, boo, I mean, at least you found out early before you really fell in deep in quote unquote in love and things like that with this human being. Oh, shut up. No pun intended.
You said it. You're like, I know we make it silly.
And then I say falling deep. I didn't even mean to. But yeah, if it's a red flag for you, if you're like, I don't want that, get out. I don't think it's your place to tell the boyfriend. I don't know why you feel worse for the boyfriend. Like, you know,
that was the thing that got me. I didn't really understand like this like projection of like, you know, like sadness morality for this other person. Like, I get that sometimes when you're like in the dating scene and you meet somebody and you're really excited about them, like every day feels like an eternity and you're just like, it's just a fairy tale. And to have that come crashing down, like I can't even imagine, you know, like that feeling of opening up your TikTok and then you see your booed up with somebody else. And I have to imagine, because I don't know how TikTok works, but I imagine you can go back just like Instagram, you can go back and see other videos. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he did say that he's been together with them for the last 6 months. So that I can imagine he's sitting there scrolling through the TikToks.
Like, right. You was like, damn, back in July 2nd? The 4th of July?
Y'all was together? They're at Easter?
Labor Day?
Like, just the daggers in the heart. Like, you know, I was really falling for him. But at this point, it's a wrap. Cut your losses, move on. There's nothing really talked about, you know, with him and his boyfriend. You don't know their situation. I agree with y'all. This is a wrap situation.
I will say one thing. This is why, you know, I stand by people who have an issue when their partner or a spouse or whatever tends to hide them on social media, because there are people out here who be acting a fool behind the scenes, etc., like this. and it's me personally, moi, I need the host to know. So what you gonna do is have me front and center, not off to stage left or stage right, bitch. I'm front and center. Okay. So that's point one. But point two that I want to make though, because I'm also old school in the sense of when I hear the word dating, that don't mean exclusive to me.
That
I just reread that, and
now.
I was just reading that now. So like dating to me is talking, getting to know someone. You are establishing, a connection of some sort. That doesn't mean that you are exclusive. So that would be one thing I would also think about. And I would just, instead of jumping to conclusion, why don't you just ask the guy? Like, I don't see in here that you also asked him, like, oh, like, who is this other person that you've been seeing for 6 months? Like, I would encourage you to ask that person first versus assuming that there's something else going on. And I think that's how you get your answer as far as what it is that you should do. Because like Kerel said earlier, you don't know the dynamic of what he has with this other person. And so to project your past experience, your baggage or whatever, your thoughts onto something and can be completely wrong, you might be missing out on something. So I'd say do your homework first before you say cut it, because there might be something more to it. Before
and the more I read this too, there's some I need more info because
telltale signs.
Yeah, because
he said, you be on TikTok. Tell us about TikTok.
Well, not even that, but he said I've been talking to this guy for 2 months. So 2 months later, you just now found the TikTok. So are you just now snooping? Are you just now happen to find? Like, I want to know what happened for 2 months that you didn't know some of this information beforehand. What, like, did he not give you this information beforehand? And then now you like for 2 months been like, oh, I'm gonna find this mother on social. I'm gonna find
Angela Lansbury over here.
So like now, like I'm reading this now, I'm like, okay, because usually, especially nowadays, I would think social would come up fairly quick. Or you would at least look fairly quickly into someone's IG
I ain't
or TikTok.
Going front because I do it from
jump. You know?
Name being Google, I be
right.
Let me find a LinkedIn. Let me find something.
Because
I'm typing in the phone number, bitch. Right, I'm being like, what website's got the phone attached attached to the user IDs? Come on now.
So that's the part now I'm like, okay, let me reread this. Like 2 months. So it almost sounds like it was like a casual dating situation where it was like, we're not together. We're not exclusive. And quite honestly, he might not be exclusive with the TikTok boyfriend either or whomever. So if you want to have fun, if you want to share some more news and shit and you want to meet up and smash, okay, cool. But I agree with Jerrell. You need to figure out some more and communicate like, okay, hey, I saw your social. Who's this dude? Like, what's going on? Like, are you just dating? Are we all casually dating? You need to figure that out for yourself because you're going to ultimately get hurt if you don't establish that from jump.
Yeah, because it seemed like this person may be a little bit more invested into it. Like, especially if you, like what you said, like 2 months, like, come on now, like, you should have been and done your homework. So now you're probably emotionally getting invested into this, and you're like, okay, I need to probably double check this. And you're like, oh, now you want some cheese? Now you want to do your homework, bitch? Like, you should have been done this from jump.
But I guess if it's the same guy for 6 months too, that must be a boyfriend or something that at least you want to keep going back for 6 months.
I mean, I had a side piece for 14 months. Never dated.
Well, and he even said, and we were planning to meet up soon. So they haven't even met.
Oh, girl.
They haven't even met. That's what that means.
Whoever said this, and I hope we
sharing
don't come
nudes
off.
a lot, and we're planning to meet up soon. So.
Yeah.
I would say this. Kudos to you not meeting yet because we are in a pandemic.
Yes.
So kudos to you.
Yes.
So good for you, girl, on not meeting yet. You know.
Yes.
You going off of what was given to you, the evidence presented, which is a picture, which, pictures could mean all sorts of things. So, the angles can be very convincing, girl. Okay. So don't get caught up. Okay.
Have you ever got the angle where it didn't look like much, but then you saw it, you're like, oh shit, you took yourself a bad angle.
Look, first of all, you know what angle gets me the most is the underneath angle. Okay. Where like you see it and you see the person's face and it look like it's big. But no,
I was thinking like the one that like it looks average or whatever. but then you see it in person, you're like, oh shit, hold on, you did yourself a disservice.
Let me tell you, let me see a hand with it, bitch. I am measuring, okay? I'm looking at my own hand. I'm like, this is 2 centimeters. I see 1, 2, 3. You know so what? Then you do.
She said carry the one.
She over there counting in centimeters.
Bitch, for real, okay?
Well, she moved to the UK already. She's over in Europe now. Exactly. She's over there. She's like, let me in, governor. Let me in. Anyway, continue to send your at Yo AunTeas AYA at minorityareport.com. DM us. Clearly, we like these questions, and clearly, you must trust us with these relationship questions because y'all be sending them. Y'all be sending them. But yeah, AYA at minorityareport.com. Man, you know what? By the time this episode comes out, too, what's going to be around? Coming to America. Bitch, I can't wait.
When does it come out again? Does it come out this Friday?
So
this
March
weekend.
5th. March 5th.
Oh, yeah.
Amazon Prime, bitch.
I'm doing.
Right?
Oh, bitch, I'm buying some Hennessy. Actually, I'm buying me some Douce for that, bitch. Bitch, I'm going to have me some Douce. My cousin just put me on this past weekend to it. And I was like, with some lemonade?
She said now.
Really? Remember our guest Upright with Eve? That's her auntie Douce. That's her thing.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. So my nickname is Auntie Henny, but like that's because my personality is already wild. When I drink Henny, GI comes out in full force. Like I don't drink Henny unless I'm at home because I'm out in public. I don't think my friends are ready to knock because I be ready to bug, bitch. I be like, what you said to me? Like I be ready. Everyone
keep that at the crib, girl.
Everyone can catch hands. So I had to stop drinking dark liquor because of that.
Dark liquor is a mood changer. Like it'll change your whole personality.
Bitch, I'm a whole other person.
And it started giving me the worst hangovers too. Like that's why my auntie name is vodka, because literally I had to stop drinking dark liquor because yes, it's a mood changer, but also it started giving me the worst hangovers. Like
really
late 20s. I was like, I can't do this dark liquor anymore. Like my body's like, no more, Negro. So auntie vodka. Lately though, like for years I didn't drink tequila. I'm starting to get back into tequila again. There's some decent tequilas out there. Yeah, hey Mark, if you're listening, I know Josh listened, but Josh, tell Mark, hey, thank you. It was Mark because he was always like, oh, I like this tequila and I like that tequila and this, and so I bought some when I came back home one time. And I was like, you know what? It might not be an every day or every weekend kind of thing, but.
That's why I'd be glad Mark will be the one that picks around the shots, girl, because
you're right.
We already be a mess. Like,
ooh, she get the extra turn up at the end of the night.
Girl.
So true. But yeah, I can't wait for this coming to America. Like part of me is still.
So what are you expecting? Yeah, what are you expecting?
Low bar. Yeah. This is just purely for the culture. That's it. I'm not expecting it to be groundbreaking. I'm not expecting to be changed. I'm expecting to leave it feeling black as fuck and ready to be black after. That's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it. No, I'm not expecting no awards or nominations or none of that. Yeah. Because you know them people don't find out shit like that funny anyways. No. They be like, what? I don't get this. Like, for instance, like how we played the Black Card Revoke game last week. I bet you the white people listen to this was like, I don't know some of these shows.
I bet they know the shows, but didn't get like why it was so humorous to us.
Yes.
They probably being like, but everyone knows potato salad. Nah, bitch. Like, there's just certain things in our culture that just you have to be in the culture to understand it. It's not for outside people. And this movie is going to be just that. Yeah. For us, by us, literally.
Us. Yeah. Made at Tyler Perry Studios at that. So like, hello, all the way black. I know that, Eddie Murphy was just interviewed And he said the reason why Louis Anderson was in the first one randomly, like he was like the only white person in that movie, is because the studio made them put a white person in the movie. And so they're like,
really?
Yeah, he just, I forget, it wasn't Jimmy Fallon. It was somewhere, some interview he just did this past week. And they said the reason why they chose Louis is because obviously Eddie was like a comedian. So he's like, okay, who do I think is like the funniest on the scene right now? Like, who do I know? Oh, Louis Anderson. And literally that's why he was in there. He's like, I feel bad, but he's like, the movie studio made us do it. So I just chose somebody. Right. But no, I agree. The bar's going to be low. Like as long...
Let me ask.
Go ahead. The hard thing a lot of times with sequels, especially beloved movies, especially within the comedy realm, it's hard because like they try to almost redo the same jokes, you know, and it's like the jokes were good for that moment and that time. Come up with new jokes. Yeah, you have to reference here, at least have the same similar characters, but don't do the same joke over and over again. So that's what I'm scared with, because those jokes killed. But it's just like, you don't have to do it again. You're funny enough, you're talented enough to come up with a whole nother thing that we don't even know we need right now. So that's my hope. I don't know if they're going to do it or not.
I hope that they didn't just, with a lot of these shows, they'll like sometimes pick the funniest moments to put in the teaser. And like the teaser is really good. So I'm just like, okay, but I remember the movie, like you couldn't even like fully capture in a teaser how funny the movie was, you know, like everything from like Soul Glow with the, you know, the stains on the, you know, on the sofas to, you know, just what's his face in his Camaro, like doing a spritz in his hair, and you know, like and
Eric LaSalle,
like, the hair jiggle and the juice, like it's just there were just
this is velvet. This is beautiful.
And even like remember at the very end where like there was like the, you know, like the dark-skinned sister was sitting on the sofa, and then there was the dog that was going back and forth, and everybody was running in and out of the house, and it was just like a very comedic moment. Like there were so many moments like that. You know, like the whole movie had like these really good ebbs and flows in terms of types of comedy and whatnot. I'm just hoping that like I hope that they don't try to like make some like big story out of it, you know, or like some kind of life lesson out of it. I hope that they just stay true to like it just being about slapstick and being just damn funny.
And I hope they don't make it too.
Do your partners have your partners seen the first one? Because you know we all interracial relationships.
Oh yeah,
Corey's seen it. Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh damn, I ain't seen it yet. But I mean, he's still fresh to the con. You know, like I'm still teaching.
You need to show him the first one before you watch the second one.
Yes, I mean
that should that be a double feature, or would you need some time to like decompress?
I think I would do a double feature. And honestly, I think even just for me in general, I think I'm gonna watch the first one right before the second one, just to be like
a refresher course.
But just to be kind of just to reignite that flame and that excitement from the first one, you know. So that way it's burning bright, so by the time the second one ends, it may just be still like flickering at least a little bit. Whereas you know, if I watch the second one without watching the first one, I'm waiting for the candle lit. It may never be lit. So you know,
right on that. I just hope it's not too glitzy. Like another thing I think I have trouble with some of these movies, like the first ones, especially if like this chunk of change in between has been like 5 years almost between the first one and this one, 1988.
Really?
So whatever that math is, 33 years.
33. Yeah.
There we go.
How the hell do I know this movie? I am 33 years old.
It's part of the culture.
It's part of the culture.
You know,
that's a VHS tape or a Blu-ray that had been sitting around the house that got pulled out every time.
It was definitely a VHS because I vividly remember seeing this movie on a month. Damn.
But I just hope they didn't put too much money in it. There's some charm in movies that don't have too big of a budget because it's a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
And that's what I also hope, like, especially now it's going to be in 4K and all this stuff, that is not just too glitzy for me.
I do get a sense that it's going to be very camp though. Like I'm really excited to see what Wesley Snipes is going to do, because you saw that clip of him like doing the dance. So it's just like, that dance sequence was like one of the crowning glories of, the whole movie. And so I'm really curious to see, because like where I've seen him and doing like acting gigs lately, he's been playing into like that camp role.
Yeah.
So like, remember he was in that other movie with Eddie Murphy that was on
and Dolomite.
Yes, Dolomite.
Yeah. That's why he's in this one, because I just watched a bunch of Eddie interviews because I just enjoy Eddie. And he said that was supposed to be his role, like Eddie's role. He was going to do another character, but they had just got done with Dolomite, and he's like, I just enjoy Wesley so much, and people forget that like he's bigger than just like an action star. Like that's what a lot of people think now, but like he did so much other stuff. So he's like, literally, I left Dolomite and we were going right into Coming to America. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna give this role to Wesley. I don't need to do another character in this movie. And so, and he says he kills it. So we'll see. But I agree. I'm really curious to see how
he does it. Cause like, the way that he played that role in Dolomite, it was almost like he was gay, like he was suspect, right? He was a little sus,
he was sus,
but they never really said it. He just played it that way. So I was like, that is a really interesting choice as an actor to make, to play up that, that backstory without like the words saying it, but you got it through his mannerisms and the way that he looked and whatnot,
I mean, because of Tuan Fu, he knew how to play into it.
He knew it. He sure did. I know. So yeah, I'm excited. At minimum, it got a lot of Black actors some jobs. So
absolutely.
It's like I got to support it. We got to get that first weekend, that first week numbers up, or whatever the streaming numbers, so that way we could continue to get some more of these Black movies. Because it's far and few between now.
Yeah, and I love that it didn't come out in Black History Month. I love that it didn't come out in February. I love that it's coming out the first weekend after to continue the celebration of Black excellence. I think I said in a few episodes ago, I was like, oh, I wish it came out in February. Now that I think about it in hindsight, no. It was smart move.
So let me ask you this question.
Season.
Yeah. Oh my God, that cake, by the way. Bitch! Looked good.
Yeah, it was delicious. By the way, my husband made a cake, blah, blah, blah. For this tastes good, Corey. Check him up on IG. I'm sure he's gonna hear this, but like, bitch, you didn't recommend my shit.
And you said blah, blah, blah. You didn't blah, blah, blah my cake that I did for your birthday.
So this tastes good, Corey. Look him up. He does diabetic meals since he's been diabetes to kind of hold himself accountable. But it was delicious. I was like, okay, thanks, boo. That was nice for you to make me a cake for my B-Day. But what were you saying, Dawon?
I was just curious, like keeping with this theme of like, iconic Black movies that are getting kind of like a sequel. What would be like one movie that you would love to see made into a sequel, especially if they could do it justice?
Ooh.
And let's keep it within a comedy genre. Keep it within a comedy. Yeah.
Damn. Well, I know for as long as they were trying to do like white chicks and things like that. I don't know how that would go over today. I mean, it would be funny as hell to me. But
still get it. He is so fine.
But I think it would just be so much hoopla, like, why can't Black people do whiteface? And so I think it wouldn't even be worth it because it would take a lot of the joy out of it.
But you know what though, in interviews, Marlon has gone on the record by saying that's what he wants. Like, because you can, because we can. That's why. And the killer part about it is they produce and finance those movies themselves. It's the Wayans brothers production. So they don't have to follow along with any kind of like studios and da-da-da-da-da.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, what would be a good sequel? That's a good question. It probably had to be some kind of a win, something to add another one, maybe like I don't know.
Maybe I would love to see maybe something.
Do you have one type of mind, Dawon?
Mine was white chicks. I would love to see a white chicks today. I think that would be hilarious because I almost feel like either they reprise the same roles of I forget what the girls' names were, you know, Muffy and Tuffy or whatever their names were. I can't even remember. But, or if they played into like the whole like Karen thing, you know, to make it modern or whatever, you know, you know, and they infiltrate like, because remember, they were like police.
Was it Brittany and
FBI
Tiffany?
agents? Maybe
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, they were FBI agents or something like that. And it might be interesting if they tried to infiltrate like the Proud Boys as Karens, you know, that could be funny.
I was almost thinking like, don't be a menace, just because we know that area is so gentrified now. So like having like still trying to be a menace in South Central while it's like this gentrification thing happening.
While drinking your organic apple juice at this point.
Right,
like,
exactly.
You know?
Exactly. And so if you do that, Williams Brothers, we cut us a check, thank you. But I think that would be kind of funny. What else?
I don't know. Honestly,
because I don't want like a above the rim
I don't want like a nutty professor. I don't want a nutty professor. I don't want like a Fat Albert or a Big Mama's House. Like I just feel like that
they had like 95 sequels already.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing like a new version of Hollywood Shuffle, if you guys remember that old movie. Wow. Or a low down dirty shame.
Oh, which is another, yes.
You know, bring back Peaches. You
know, How dare you?
So you might just turn into a whole weekend of watching those movies. Because I haven't seen that one in a while.
Their Low Down Dirty Shame. Oh my gosh! Remember when Peaches saw Chad on Rodeo Drive Boulevard?
Yeah.
Yes, Chad. Don't you ever do that to that movie?
I gotta watch that movie again. I love that movie so much. Thank you so much for reminding me.
It's just so weird, like between the Wayans and Eddie Murphy, like that's literally like 95 of like kind of these culty comedic movies. And Martin, like those three, like what else is there?
That's pretty much
comedy.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I don't know. So damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, because I don't want like a Pootie Tang. I don't want like a. I don't want like
Pootie Tang. Okay, first of all, I could never get behind Pootie Tang because the PTSD of getting whooped as a child. I was like, no, bitch. I don't want to watch no movie about some man whooping people with his belt, bitch. I know. My behind knows what that feels like. I can't, bitch.
So yeah, so that might not be it. Maybe we just let them stay. We'll know better. Community will know next week.
Because I know, Dawon, you said Snakes on the Plane, but I think like another Soul Plane or something.
You do another
like that,
Soul Plane?
What about Baps?
Oh, rest in peace to Natasha, just passed too.
Harlem Nights.
Harlem Nights.
So what if they did Harlem Nights, but instead of it being like in the 30s, you know, they did it in the 70s.
See, I'm just trying to think who they would cast, because a lot of that cast, rest in peace, you know. So it's just like who would do it justice.
What about House Party?
You could do another House Party at this point, maybe.
But it has to be Club Party, because house parties ain't like that no more.
Yeah,
you're right on that.
They just
and everybody dancing on TikTok instead of dancing together.
Exactly.
You're right on that.
Because in my mind, I think a house party, and I think You Got Served. Like You Got Served was like the evolution of like the modern house party technique.
What was the other one though, where he was Blade Brown? It was still Kid and Play. And they was in school. Oh damn! Hold on, Alexa. Blade Brown. Hold on, let me type this in. Blade Brown. Class Act.
Oh yeah.
Class Act was my shit.
Yeah. I would do that one too. That
was my shit. But yeah, I don't know. So we'll see.
Listen,
we'll see
next
week.
To all the white listeners, I encourage y'all to write those movies down.
Absolutely.
Because you will learn so much about Black culture in those movies. Like they are literally like prime examples of being Black in the 90s and the early 2000s and the 80s. Like just you know, what makes this, and a lot of today's jokes have a lot of reference to back days and those times. So if you really want to feel like, if you don't want to feel lost anymore, have a movie night.
Those.
I'm telling you.
What was that one with Eddie Murphy and Robin Givens where and yes, and Ron J.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now they have the TV show, so I wonder if they would even do that. They're like, okay, we got the TV show. We're good.
How was the TV show?
I haven't watched it. I haven't watched it. I don't watch a lot of BET anymore, so I don't know.
Either.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't watch like a lot of network TV as it. You watch Sisters?
Because my mom and my sister.
Is it good?
I like you. You know, it's still kind of predictable, but I love there being a platform for Black women. I think that's the number one thing I love about it. That is just, it's something that's just black women. Yeah, you know, specifically.
We need a comedy like Black, like LGBTQIA show or something. You know, we don't have like that just comedic. Well, because there's a lot of shit that's funny in our community.
Yeah. I would love to see a reprisal of Noah's Ark, you know, like a Black ensemble cast. You know, I don't know if you guys ever watch it. It was from back in the day, but that was you know, it was like the Black version of
Sex in the City.
Sex in the City.
Yeah, Sex in the City. And what's that other one?
Queer as Folk.
Queer as Folk. Yeah. It was like the Black version of that. And that was just so, it's so campy, but it's so damn good. And I would love to see something like that.
Taja Call to get his shit together and stop selling his blackness to make white coins and actually step into that. I'm just saying.
You know what? I'll support that. I'm
just saying because I honestly I want to root for the brothers so much. Yeah. I really do. I want to root for him so much. And I was happy when he did his thing with Brandy when when Cinderella.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm just like, but where is that Black 24/7? It's only relevant when you want it to be, and then you sell it to the white people to be no, girl.
Because like I always struggle just because it's just like, if that's you, you know, and I don't have to surround myself one way or the other if I don't care for it. But it's just like, I agree, it just does feel like sometimes he's kind of stuck in that position where he's still trying to prove himself to that community when you don't have to, you know, like you have, and I mean, like, if those are your friends, it's cool, but you also have people like us, you know, here that would support you nonetheless, that you don't have to prove anything about.
I feel like Tyra, we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. How dare you? That's how I feel.
And I got my teaser. Thank you.
That's how I feel.
Oh man. Well, anyway, community. Hopefully you're still staying safe. They just got the new vaccine, so there's another vaccine choice for you as well.
I now qualify for the vaccine.
Nice.
But I just gotta find one now.
Yeah. I know.
Because the governor here in Washington, he opened up the vaccine qualifications to teachers and people that work at high schools because I coach. I now qualify for the vaccine.
I'll send you a link. I just found a link yesterday where I think it's called like vaccinehunters.com or something like that.
Or Finder,
or something like that. And you could click on your state and it literally every like pharmacy that like has openings, it lists it. And you could just kind of click on that there. Obviously, it might still be like miles outside the city and shit like that, but
she got to start now.
I started.
That is true. A car, and we'll take a ferry. Okay.
I know that's right. Shit. A ferry on a ferry. Ow,
Impossible.
Dude, wash your hands, wash your legs, and wash your ass.
All of it.
We'll see all. Get in there.
Oh, cheeks. Spread them.
See,
soap it up, bitch.
Not one finger, girl. You need at least 3 fingers, girl. You know. I mean, unless I mean, unless your cheeks are big enough, then yes, you want 3.
Whatever you gotta do, get it clean, girl, and we'll see you next week.
All right, bye, y'all. Oh,
can't take us nowhere.